So, good afternoon or evening. I'm making this video today on June 21st. It's the day after a Everquest patch that greatly affected the enchanters in Everquest. They nerfed the enchanter pretty hard for their dots. I'm going to go over the two types of enchanters, basically group enchanters and raid enchanters, and how this affects both. As for the nerfs themselves with this recent patch, their 110 damage over time spell, Mind Tempest, was changed from 11,256 mana to 10,156, which is nice that they lowered the mana, but they also decreased the damage of the damage over time spell from 5,466 per tick to 2,497. They decreased the amount of mana taken from the monster from 5,466 per tick to 2,011 per tick, and decreased the mana return from 5.8% max of 2,754 to 2.7% and max of 556. And they also changed the recast from 1.5 seconds to 9 seconds. They also didn't leave out the other two damage over time spells in the Enchanter line. That the Looting Constriction had its mana increased by 1,500, had the damage cut from 8,598 to 6,327 at the current nuke when it first gets cast, and then it is changed from 9,002 per tick to 6,032. And the Strangulate line was brought from, the mana was pretty much the same, but they cut the damage from 38,564 to 28,314 at the current nuke when you first cast it, and then cut the damage from 18,329 per tick to 11,748. But at least for these, they kept the recast timer the same. But as far as the role of the Enchanter right now, just as far as raids go, is basically doesn't have a role anymore at this point. In groups, Enchanters are still great. They don't do DPS, but we're not really a DPS class, so that's not as big of a deal. But you can still do mezzing, you can still do some charm, like here on Frontier Mountains you can charm the Sarnax, or at least some of them, and use that to increase DPS, but your dots now will drain you and you will go out of mana very, very fast. Now, as for the Raid Enchanter, except for two encounters between EOK and Ring of Scale, those are the only two encounters that you can mez on as an Enchanter, and neither one of those encounters really have Enchanters mezzing, just because it's easier for my guild, as well as other raid guilds, to just off-tank those ads, rather than have them mezzed, because just people don't assist very well. But that's neither here nor there. And Enchanters basically can't charm on raids. They can't do any real damage as far as nukes go. And now they can't do any real damage as far as our damage over time spells go. So the role for the Enchanter now has been relegated to nothing more than a buff bot. And doing our Illusions of Grandeur and other burn spells during burns. And that's all that an Enchanter can do at this point. And to show like the difference between it, I can show you two different ways that you can kind of still try to use our dots, but before the nerf, I could kill one of these mobs in 2 rounds of my 4 dots, and it would be dead in a couple minutes. So now, I'm going to show you how long it takes now. So I got him rooted, going to cast Mind Tempest. Gonna cast Diluting Constriction and Strangulate. Since those are the three main lines, the mana damage one doesn't work because these characters don't have mana. So these monsters, that won't work. It's down to just three mobs, and that's like these 3 damage overtime spells, and that's it. So now we'll see how many times I have to refresh this and how long it'll take to kill just one mob. So I will recast Mind Tempest when it gets down to about 4 seconds, which is right now. And I recast the other dots also when they get down to about 4 seconds. I just mouse over the dots so I can see how much time is left before they wear
Decabus
out.
2 moved in from Silent Redemption by
right
the
now,
server.
The mob is at 74%.
Decabus 2 moved to Crush Bone.
See now the root broke. Reroot it, move, rerune. Strangulate is going to wear off because of that. Recast that, and Mind Tempest again has 9 seconds left.
Heartfire moved in from Silent Redemption
round.
by the server.
This is going to be my 3rd cast of Mind Tempest.
Heartfire moved to Crush Bone.
And it is going to be moving on to the 3rd cast of Diluting and Strangulate in just a few seconds. And the mob is still only at 45% health. Now 39. I just keep monitoring both. I'm going to have to cast Mind Tempest and Strangulate a little bit early, just because they're so close together as far as their time is. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Mind Tempest now and Strangulate. So that is now the 4th cast of Mind Tempest and the 3rd for Diluting Constrictions and Strangulate. And the mob is currently at 17% health. I'm at 74% mana, even sitting down in between casts. So now Diluting is going to be coming up for refresh on its 4th cast in a few minutes. Well, a few seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and recast Diluting. And so now the mob is finally dead. And it took several minutes as well as a quarter of my mana. Like it took 4 recasts of Mind Tempest and 3, almost 4 of the others. So now there's another way you can do this using our Chaotic Delusion, but that will only work up to for your direct damage spells, so you risk your root breaking using it. But it is an option that I can go ahead and show right now as just an option for enchanters to try to use. It's not the best method by any means, but it is a method to try to increase the DPS, even if it does destroy our mana even faster. So I'm going to cast the 3 dots, Mind Tempest, Diluting, and Strangulate. I'm going to cast Chaotic Delusion to give me a guaranteed twin cast of my nuke, Mind Slash. And so now that was a guaranteed twin cast. So I'm gonna get a second one off. And so now I just simply wait for Mind Tempest to need to be refreshed. Notice I'm already back at 63% mana. So I'm gonna redo Mind Tempest. I'll redo the nukes again after this most current refresh of the dots, just to try to show how much mana this takes and everything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and reroute them, refresh my rune just to be safe. Strangulate is gonna wear off again because of that.
Decabus 2 moved in from Silent Redemption by the server.
So I'm gonna wait
Decabus 2
for
moved to
now
Crush
the
Bone.
Mind Tempest refresh before I do the nuke. So now I can attempt to do the nuke again. The mob is at 34% health. So that gives me a guaranteed twin cast on my nuke. Now I just have to wait for my Mind Slash to refresh. Get it casting again. My diluting did wear off due to that though. And so now Mind Tempest is gonna need to be refreshed in a minute also. Before. So there, I was able to kill the second mob that way.
Decabus 2 moved in from Silent
And
Redemption by the server.
24%
Decabus
mana.
2 moved to Crush Bone.
And it was a little bit quicker, but that is now what we're going to have to be reduced to, or we can still do reverse charming and use charm here grouping. But as far as raids, enchanters no longer have a role. So as of yesterday, I am going to be retiring my enchanter main, which I played since 2000, and I am going to request to main change to my Shadow Knight with my guild, just because after playing my enchanter so long, I love the character, but I refuse personally to be nothing more than a buff bot. So that is my opinion, and thank you for watching.